For over 4.5 billion years, our planet has undergone dramatic transformations. From a molten, chaotic sphere to the vibrant, life-sustaining oasis we know today, Earth's story is one of constant change and remarkable resilience. Even in its earliest days, our world was far from the serene blue marble we now recognize. Instead, it was a seething, fiery landscape bombarded by countless space rocks, with molten surfaces slowly cooling to form the planet's first crust. In this documentary, we explore the deep past, an era before dinosaurs, when the planet's early conditions, fierce environmental forces, and pioneering life forms set the stage for everything that was to come. Our journey begins in Earth's infancy, a time when the planet was still forming. Billions of years ago, the swirling dust and gas left over from the birth of our solar system clumped together under the force of gravity, creating a roiling mass of molten rock. This was Earth in its primordial state, hot, hostile, and constantly under threat from asteroid impacts. These impacts were so frequent and intense that they vaporized huge portions of Earth's nascent crust, creating a vapor shroud of rock and metal. As the planet's temperature eventually dropped, molten materials hardened, forming a rudimentary surface. Volcanic eruptions and relentless bombardments continued in these early eons, releasing colossal amounts of gas that would form the basis of Earth's primitive atmosphere. This wasn't the breathable air we enjoy today. Instead, it was thick with carbon dioxide, methane, and ammonia, extremely toxic to the forms of life familiar to us now. But as the planet kept radiating heat out into space, water vapor in the atmosphere began to condense. Over millions of years, rain fell in torrents, slowly cooling the crust and collecting in basins to form the first oceans. These bodies of water, although alien compared to modern seas, contained the elemental building blocks: water, carbon, nitrogen, and other compounds that would ultimately coalesce into life's first simple forms. In these ancient seas, the raw ingredients of life mixed and mingled in a primordial soup, a stew of organic molecules that scientists believe gave rise to the earliest living organisms. Although these microbial life forms were microscopic and primitive, their appearance marked one of the most critical turning points in Earth's history. For hundreds of millions of years, single-celled organisms, including some that resembled modern bacteria and archaea, dominated the planet. Over time, some of these microbes developed the ability to harness sunlight through photosynthesis, gradually releasing oxygen into the atmosphere. This great oxygenation event, though extremely slow compared to a human lifetime, was revolutionary, paving the way for the more complex life that would appear much later. Fast forward to the Carboniferous period, around 350 million years ago, an era that transformed Earth into a lush, swampy paradise unlike anything we see today. By this time, continents had largely broken apart from earlier supercontinents, drifting into configurations that created vast, low-lying swamps, tropical wetlands, and bogs. The atmosphere, enriched with oxygen, up to 35% compared to today's 21%, provided the perfect conditions for life to flourish in ways that defy modern imagination. This high oxygen content arose partly from the prolific growth of plants in these swampy regions. Thick forests of lycopsids, club mosses, ferns, and giant horsetails blanketed enormous tracts of land, turning sunlight into energy and releasing immense volumes of oxygen into the air. Imagine a world where humidity was omnipresent, the ground was spongy and waterlogged, and the air itself felt thick and heavy. In these oxygen-rich environments, insects reached sizes unheard of in our time. Prehistoric dragonflies like Meganeura, with wingspans rivaling those of modern eagles, soared gracefully above dense, humid forests. On the forest floor, giant millipede-like creatures, such as Arthropleura, could grow to lengths of several feet, slithering and scuttling across leaf litter under the endless canopy of towering vegetation. Scorpions the size of small dogs and other arthropods thrived in this environment, liberated from today's size constraints due to the elevated oxygen levels. This was a time of evolutionary experimentation, where the abundance of oxygen and the rich, watery habitat allowed life to experiment boldly with form and function. The Carboniferous wasn't merely a period of gigantism. It was a vibrant, teeming ecosystem that laid down the ecological blueprints for future terrestrial life. The countless remains of plants in these swamps would eventually turn into the vast coal deposits that powered much of human civilization's industrial revolution millions of years later. That legacy is so profound that we actually named the period Carboniferous because of this significant coal formation. Amid this vibrant chaos of the Carboniferous, life also began to venture more confidently beyond the water. Early amphibians, which had likely evolved from lobe-finned fish in preceding periods, took their first tentative steps onto land. These pioneers of the terrestrial realm initially stuck to the moist, sheltered margins of swamps and wetlands, where they could escape from aquatic predators and search for new sources of food, like insects and other invertebrates. Gradually, they adapted to a life where water was no longer omnipresent, developing stronger, more permeable skin and enhanced lungs that allowed them to survive outside aquatic habitats for extended periods. These early amphibians occupied a crucial evolutionary crossroads. On one branch, certain amphibians retained many of the ancestral traits, like reliance on moist environments and aquatic breeding. On another branch, significant transformations took place. The evolution of thicker, scaly skin to reduce water loss, the development of more advanced lung systems, and most importantly, the emergence of the amniotic egg, a protective, water-retaining vessel in which the embryo could develop safely on land. This revolutionary adaptation liberated these creatures from returning to water to reproduce, opening up whole new ecological niches and habitats that had never before been accessible to vertebrates. From this lineage arose the first true reptiles, whose descendants would one day include the magnificent dinosaurs. Moving ahead in time to the Permian period, roughly 300 million years ago, Earth underwent another dramatic transformation. Continents converged to form the colossal supercontinent Pangaea, a single, unified landmass that drastically altered global climate patterns. This gigantic landmass stretched across much of Earth's surface, surrounded by a vast global ocean known as Pangaea. The formation of Pangaea reshaped ocean currents, atmospheric circulation, and rainfall distribution, creating extremes in climate that had never been seen before in the interior of this immense supercontinent. Weather patterns became stark and unforgiving. Summers scorched the land with relentless heat, while winters descended into bitter cold. Arid deserts expanded across the supercontinent's heart, where inland regions received little to no rainfall. Only the hardiest forms of life could survive such punishing conditions. Along the coasts and in more temperate regions, though, ecosystems still thrived, showcasing an incredible array of new and evolving species. Among these resilient terrestrial creatures were the mammal-like reptiles, also known as therapsids, and other early synapsids. These remarkable organisms blurred the lines between reptilian and mammalian characteristics, exhibiting differentiated teeth, more sophisticated jawbones, and in some cases, the earliest hints of warm-blooded metabolism. One iconic representative of these apex predators was Dimetrodon, easily recognizable by its massive sail-like structure on its back. Paleontologists believe that this sail may have served multiple purposes, perhaps regulating body temperature by absorbing or dissipating heat, or playing a role in courtship displays or territorial intimidation. As apex predators, creatures like Dimetrodon capitalized on their robust physiques and innovative adaptations to dominate land ecosystems. Yet, the Permian period was a double-edged sword. As life diversified and filled new ecological roles, the stage was also being set for the most catastrophic mass extinction event in Earth's history, the Permian-Triassic extinction. Around 252 million years ago, up to 90% of marine species and 70% of terrestrial vertebrate species were wiped out in a geologically brief interval. This devastating die-off was triggered by a potent combination of factors, including massive volcanic eruptions, such as those in the Siberian Traps, rapid climate change, acidification of the oceans, and widespread anoxia, oxygen depletion, in marine environments. The biosphere's resilience was tested to its limits, as Earth teetered on the brink of becoming a lifeless world. From the ashes of the Permian catastrophe, however, a new chapter of life began during the Triassic period. With so many ecological niches suddenly vacant, evolutionary opportunities abounded for the survivors. In this recovering world, small, nimble reptiles evolved rapidly, adapting to diverse habitats and forging new predatory and herbivorous roles. Among these hardy survivors and innovators were the early ancestors of the dinosaurs. Creatures like Eoraptor and Herosaurus, whose agile forms and swift movements hinted at the dominant species they would soon become. The Triassic was also marked by the gradual breakup of Pangaea, which fostered the creation of diverse, isolated ecosystems. As tectonic forces split the supercontinent, new coastlines, seas, and mountain ranges took shape. This process not only altered climate patterns, but also physically separated populations of animals and plants, driving evolutionary divergence as species adapted to their specific regions. Geographic fragmentation encouraged even more rapid evolutionary change, and as climate stabilized, new ecological niches emerged. This patchwork of environments, some hot and arid, others more temperate or even monsoonal, allowed many forms of reptilian life to flourish. Crocodile-like pseudosuchians, small proto-mammals, and early dinosaurs all carved out their territories in a constantly shifting world. Ultimately, the stage was set for the age of dinosaurs, a time when these ancient reptiles would reign supreme. As the Triassic gave way to the Jurassic period, the Earth's climates grew more humid and mild. The supercontinent continued its slow fragmentation, creating new habitats and ecological frontiers. This was the world in which dinosaurs truly began to flourish, evolving into an incredible array of shapes, sizes, and lifestyles. Herbivores grew ever larger, their long necks reaching into the highest canopy of prehistoric forests, while specialized theropods refined their predatory tactics, leading to the rise of some of the most formidable carnivores in Earth's history. In the Jurassic, massive herbivores like Brachiosaurus and Diplodocus roamed sprawling, verdant landscapes, browsing on cycads, conifers, and ferns. These giants weighed dozens of tons, yet still managed to traverse the land in herds, migrating along seasonal routes to find fresh feeding grounds. Fearsome predators like Allosaurus hunted these behemoths, relying on cunning, pack strategies, or overwhelming brute force. The balance of predator and prey evolved in tandem, creating an arms race where size, armor, speed, and intelligence all played pivotal roles. As the Jurassic progressed into the Cretaceous period, dinosaurs continued to diversify. The iconic Tyrannosaurus rex emerged as one of nature's apex predators, an enormous, muscle-bound carnivore capable of exerting tremendous bite force. Triceratops and other ceratopsians roamed in herds, brandishing horns and frills that served both as defenses and as displays. Duck-billed hadrosaurs like Parasaurolophus evolved complex head crests that may have produced resonant calls, possibly to communicate across great distances. It was also during this era that evolutionary innovations reached new heights in other corners of the animal kingdom. Feathered dinosaurs like Archaeopteryx revealed the deep roots of avian evolution, bridging the gap between reptilian ancestors and what would become the first true birds. Pterosaurs soared above prehistoric seas, while marine reptiles such as ichthyosaurs and plesiosaurs dominated the waters. The age of dinosaurs was not only a time of raw power and size, but also one of remarkable diversity, setting a benchmark for life's ability to adapt and flourish across millennia. Throughout these long epochs, Earth's climate continued to shift, continents drifted, and ecosystems rose and fell in response to gradual, or sometimes abrupt, environmental changes. The deep history of our planet, from its tumultuous beginnings to the rise and fall of colossal creatures, is a story of resilience, innovation, and transformation. Every epoch, be it the oxygen-rich swamps of the Carboniferous or the supercontinent drama of the Permian, has contributed to the intricate tapestry of life we witness today. These ancient chapters are not just relics of the past. They are powerful reminders of the fragile balance that sustains life, the inevitability of change, and the extraordinary capacity of nature to reinvent itself. Our journey through Earth's early history teaches us that even in the face of overwhelming destruction, new life finds a way. Each mass extinction, every climatic upheaval, has paved the way for new evolutionary possibilities, a continuous cycle of death and rebirth that echoes through the ages. The Permian-Triassic extinction taught us that no matter how dominant or widespread a lineage might be, survival is never guaranteed. And yet from that devastation rose the dinosaurs, illustrating that after darkness, life can not only persist, but also flourish in forms more complex, astonishing, and far-reaching than ever before. Thank you for joining us on this epic odyssey into a world long before dinosaurs, a world where the raw forces of nature forged the building blocks of life. As we reflect on these ancient epochs, let us be reminded of the transient beauty of our existence and the immense power of the universe that has shaped every living thing. While it's tempting to marvel solely at the grandeur of giants like Tyrannosaurus rex or Diplodocus, remember that their lineage was made possible by eons of incremental change, beginning with the simplest microbes in Earth's primordial oceans. If you enjoyed this journey through deep time, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comment below. What part of Earth's primordial past fascinates you the most? Is it the colossal insects of the Carboniferous, the pioneering amphibians stepping onto land, or perhaps the dramatic supercontinent cycles that rearranged Earth's landmasses time and again? We'd love to hear your insights and theories, as every perspective illuminates another facet of this ever-unfolding story. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars and your hearts open to the wonders of our ancient world. For in every grain of ancient rock and in every whisper of the wind, the story of Earth continues to inspire us. The very air we breathe, the water we drink, and the ground we stand upon are intimately tied to the planet's ancient history. A history that is constantly written and rewritten over vast eons, shaped by the delicate interplay of cosmic, geological, and biological forces in a universe defined by change and eternal renewal. May we always cherish the legacy of our planet and strive to learn from its storied past. History has shown us that Earth is resilient, capable of recovering from cataclysms on a scale almost beyond human comprehension. But it has also shown that life's balance can be precarious. Our modern world, forged by the triumphs and trials of countless generations of living organisms, stands as a testament to nature's unyielding creativity. Yet, it also challenges us to safeguard this planet for the future, a chapter yet to be written by the life forms who call Earth home. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe for more awe-inspiring sci-fi and educational documentaries, where we continue to unearth the secrets of ancient worlds, peer into the distant reaches of the cosmos, and celebrate the enduring spirit of exploration that defines both humanity and life itself.